So in this lesson, we're going to talk about the incredible edible egg. Eggs are one of those things that bounce all around the place as far as whether they're healthy or not. Years ago, we were worried about cholesterol and lowering that, so we were like, stay away from eggs and only do egg whites and da-da-da-da-da. We use eggs for kids for Easter. We use hard-boiled eggs. The Atkins diet came out. Eggs became popular again. Big old hearty breakfast became popular. So they've been all over the place as far as what to do. So they can influence your inflammatory response. It can be good and bad. So it just affects everybody differently. So you have to figure it out based on you and your reaction. So just keep in mind if it causes bloating, then you might want to avoid them. Now, do you have to avoid them forever? No, but just keep in mind that it may cause a temporary inflammatory response. If you eat them every single day, it's going to be problematic if that's what it does for you. But what's the other thing that's really hard about eggs? Buying them. My goodness, it is impossible to figure out which ones to buy. Do you buy the most expensive ones? Do you buy the cheapest ones? Do you buy the brown ones? Do you buy the colored ones? Do you buy the white ones? Do you buy the ones that are injected with all this stuff and all these extra vitamins? I really don't know. So I'm going to drop these links so you can read into it. We'll go over some of these together because it's really unbelievable how confusing it's gotten. Organic. Okay, so organic always seems to be a good thing. So when they write organic, it doesn't always mean that they have outdoor access. We're not sure what it means. It doesn't mean the hens go outside. It may mean there's a little door. And if the farmer were to open it, they could access the outdoors. So it's been terrible the way that they have used labels to help us. Non-GMO, well, this has nothing to do with how a hen's treated, but how are the hens fed? Are they fed a diet from GMOs? That doesn't mean the food's actually organic. Vegetarian fed. Hens aren't vegetarians. So when given pasture access, they eat worms and grubs. That's the diet that they want. They aren't officially vegetarians. So that's important. Cage-free. This label is regulated by the USDA, which means hens can move freely about the hen house and have unlimited access to food and water during their production cycle. And it says it must be 1.5 square feet per hen, litter for dust bathing, purchase for the birds, and pneumonia levels at a maximum of 10 ppm, which means the scent is imperceptible. So cage-free is nice. Free range, now that sounds good. This label is regulated by the USDA, and it's continuous access to the outdoors during the production cycle, which may or may not be fenced, blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, this is the word that I've heard is good. Pasture raised. It's not regulated by the USDA because there's so many variables around it. But for certified humane, it's 108 square feet per bird, which is animal welfare approved. So that sounds good to me. Natural. Guess what? Natural means nothing. Anything can be called natural. So that's really good. No added hormones. Well, here's the funny thing. Federal regulations have never allowed the use of hormones or steroids in poultry, pork, or goats. So if you see a label that says no antibiotics were used, that doesn't really mean anything. Humane, this is also not regulated by the USDA. So anyway, here's a short list of companies. This is why I shot right to this list of people that are doing it right. So just keep note of these brands. My goodness, you can read all the stuff. I'm going to drop the link in. This Perry and Pete and Jerry's, I've seen that in our grocery store. I've seen the Nellies. There's nothing cheap about these things, but I saw the word certified humane. That's good. And the pasture, I've heard pasture raised was good. These others I've not seen at our local store, but they may be at yours. So I'm going to drop this in so you can study it because they couldn't make it more complicated if they tried. So get the right eggs because you don't need anything added to it. You don't need them being fed the wrong thing and so on.